Welcome again, everyone. Welcome again. Of course, this is your ultimate show. It's still the ultimate show. We are just having some technical difficulties. I did the show from last night, trying to upload it, but just couldn't upload it. So I had to do a rush one this morning, just to give you some backdrop on it. And of course, it's still Corona time, still in quarantine. So it's myself alone on set today. And but of course, the show must go on. So let's go quickly into the club action. Of course, it's Jamaican Premier League, and things are at a fever pitch right now as we speak. It's very heated. Again, just backdrop. It's 11 teams in the 12 team normally Premier League. UAE opted out, and so now we're at the final game in the regular season, which will decide who will be crowned as the regular season champion, and also who will make the 1 and 2 spots to advance automatically to the semi-final round, and the playoff round, which will include teams in 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th to see who are the 2 winners of those games and move on to the semi-final berth. Friday action, we'll see Portmore United playing against Waterhouse at 10 a.m. Yes, people, 10 o'clock again because of the corona. It's gonna be very hot, and for a match of this magnitude, I would have thought they would have put that for the last one, but I'm not sure. So 10 o'clock, Portmore United will play Waterhouse. Dumbo Holden will host Mount Pleasant, and Arborview will play Arnett Garden. So Dumbo Holden versus Mount Pleasant at 1 p.m. and Arborview will play Arnett Gardens at 3:30 p.m. Of course, all the games are going to be played at the Captain Horace Burrell Center of Excellence at the UA Complex. Saturday, we will see Tivoli Gardens playing Mullines at 12. And Veer will play Cavaliers at 2:30 to round off. Now, just to give a backdrop on what we are supposed to be seeing or what is happening in the Jamaican Premier League, Portmore, who will play against leaders Waterhouse. So Portmore currently sits in 7th position. So it means the defending champion are in danger of not even making it to the playoff round. And only a win will virtually confirm Portmore's spot in the playoff. They'd still mathematically, with a wide goal margin and a lot of scores going their way, they still can be crowned regular season champion, which would be very unlikely. But with a win would definitely cement their spot in the playoff round. Waterhouse, on the other hand, finishing out the regular season, looking to stay on top as they did last season that was abandoned. Waterhouse is out in front on 16 points, but they still have a lot to play for because, of course, the table is extremely tight. So Waterhouse will want to get that win to cement their spot and be crowned as regular season champion, and also, most importantly, the crucial win or a point to at least be in one of those 2 positions to advance automatically to the semi-final round. So that is going to be very interesting, and the game is minutes away as we speak right now. We're looking at the other game, which will see Mount Pleasant. Is it Mount Pleasant, right? Yes, Mount Pleasant will play Dumbo Olen, and so this is the St. Catherine based team who's going to be playing after their brothers in St. Catherine Portmore, and they would know their aim that they need to do, as Dumbo Olen now sits in the last spot, which is 6th position to be in the playoff. And so based on results in the earlier game, Dumbo Olen will definitely know their game plan if they will just need a point to stay in the playoff round, or they will need a win to basically be back in. So they will know after the Portmore Waterhouse game. Their opponents, though, Mount Pleasant, got a lot of flack from us, but definitely showing that they're peaking at the right time under Coach Willie Downs. Mount Pleasant now sitting 5th position on the table. However, most importantly, they are 1 point. It's just 1 point behind the leader, Waterhouse. So the St. Ann Club looking finally to see if they can finally make it into the playoff round, and most importantly, clinch the regular season championship on the last day of the regular season. So Mount Pleasant really looking good. Still don't have a striker for me. Still not playing the most crisp and best football, but getting the job done. And based on what we've seen from the start, they're looking like they're heading in the right direction. The other game to close out on Friday, we'll see Harbourview versus Arnett Gardens. And how can we judge this Harbourview team? How? Harbourview over the years have always been this type of team. Started the season very well, looking very good, especially this season because of Chung, the marksman for Harbourview. But somewhere down the line again, as we've seen, I'm not sure what's happening out at Harbourview, but have we seen Harbourview finding themselves at the back of the pack, looking to get in again after a fairly good start? So Harbourview will definitely call on that man Chung again to see if he can power them past the Junglies, as Harbourview sits in 8th position. Is it 8? Harbourview sits, yes. So Harbourview are now looking outwards from the outside, looking in, and they're on 12 points. So a win for Harbourview is a must. There's nothing else they can achieve. They will like to achieve more than a win. Only a win will be good enough to them to virtually cement a spot in the playoff round. Arden Guns, on the other hand, very young team, new coaching staff, new management. I think the captain for Arnett Gardens is record breaking. I think he'll probably be the youngest captain ever. I'm not sure, but the Arnett Gardens, as I said, very new team, very new, and normally a team that rely on their home base. And so without that, this time around, Arnett Gardens won't be in the playoff, even if they win by a very large margin, but as they are currently in 9th position on 8 points, and so a win will only bring them to 11, therefore not amassing enough points to even venture in. So Harbourview will definitely look to try and dispossess Arnett Gardens and see if they can at least have their own future in their own hands. Saturday's game, Tivoli Gardens, a surprise package. Easily my surprise package. As at start of the season, we would have ridiculed them and talk about the fact that they are still inclusion of Jeremy and Teddy Johnson. Also, the fact that they were saying that it's only 2 weeks since before the start of the season that they'd actually started their training session and program. So to see Tivoli Gardens joint first going into the last game on 16 points is very good. And to look at their form, Tivoli Gardens has been unbeaten in an impressive 5-game run, only taking 2 draws and 3 wins. So very good. They're scoring a lot of goals coming up. The last game they scored 4, but equally they've conceded as much as they've scored. So Tivoli Gardens again looking to be champions on the last round of the fixtures in the regular season, and have all their own destiny in their own hands, and will definitely look to at least be in one of the top 2 to be automatically in the semi-final. Their opposition are Mullines. Last year would have been relegated. This year would have been relegated. So 2 years on the bounce, Mullines have found themselves at the back of the pack, finishing out with 6 points with 1 more game to go. So had it not been for Corona, Mullines would not have been here this season. And this season again, because of there's no relegation, which was decided through the JFF, Mullines will be safe again for a 3rd season. And so Mullines in the bottom 2 at 10th position, and will play their last game against Red Hot Tivoli Gardens. Another surprise package and last year's debutant. Well, not so much of a debutant because they've been there under the name of Jamalco before. But Veer FC or Veer United would have been one of the teams that was also slated to be relegated last season, had it not been the impact of Corona and of course no relegation. So the Jose Mourinho of Jamaica, Donovan Dookie, is now in charge of Veer, and he has been doing a very good job thus far for a team who was supposed to be relegated. Veer now sits on 15 points, just 1 point. Again, people, the league is very, very tight and very competitive. And so they'll just need to get a win and cement their spot in the playoff round. I'm not sure if I'm not sure where the mental state of Donovan Dookie would have been, as he is not so much a favorite of the playoff rounds. Of course, the playoff rounds, normally have a regular season champion, and then you go playoff, and then you will decide the overall champion. So Donovan Dookie would have been on the back end of some bad run when he was at Humble Lion and also at Waterhouse playing this type of format. So I'm not sure if he wants to push his team all out and secure a semi-final spot, or would he want an extra game to go and ready up for a playoff run. But nevertheless, Veer is completely safe and will definitely be a part of the mix. Veer will play Cavaliers, of course, and Cavaliers has been so methodical and quietly going about their business. There's not a lot of hype around the Cavaliers team, but I can tell you, easily one of the more technical and tactical team. They move the ball so smoothly and so nicely. The balance in terms of average age group is relatively young from the Cavaliers team, and we've always expected that, But on the flip end is that Cavaliers has always been synonymous with youth championships, and have never been really one to make it in the senior level just yet as of this far. And so there's no doubt the Cavaliers camp will definitely want to push on. They're virtually safe in the top 6. And then again, as I say, going into the last game, almost all the teams from 1 to 6 have a chance to be the regular season champion. But mathematically, realistically, I think only the teams from 1 to 4 will have a realistic chance of being the champion. But 1 to 6, there's a lot of changes that can happen. 1 to 8, there's still 1 to 8 have a chance still to be in the top 6. I think 1 and 2 right now are currently very good in terms of deciding as to where they will land. But as to who will go to the semi-final or who will be the champion, there's a lot to play for. And so we just have to wait and see what will happen between today and tomorrow at the JFF Center of Excellence, Captain Horace Burrell Center of Excellence, I should say. So people, it's gonna be heated. It's very hot, and we need to support our own league. So there you have it. That's a look back on all the action that will be happening over the Jamaican Premier League for Friday and Saturday. This is the final round of the regular season. So regular season champion to be crowned. Who will make it the top 2? Who will make it to the semi-final? And also 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th that will be involved in the playoff round. People, I'm your boy Jermaine. This is the ultimate show to have. Please like, share, subscribe. Ensure so you subscribe, people. Subscribe. We can't stress it enough. That's how we're gonna grow. So again, 2 halves, we're out.